Have you ever wondered how much money can a mobile game make with 1 million downloads on iOS or Android? I did, because recently one of my games reached this milestone of 1 million downloads. Check this out.
If you think tons of downloads equals tons of money, well, let me stop you right there.
Some games with million downloads get hundreds thousands of dollars, while others just a few grand.
In my case, is more or less average. My game was, well, it's pretty old, I made it in 2020 and overall it kinda sucks, bad level design, boring mechanics, awful onboarding, but despite all of that, it actually made a pretty solid amount of money, especially for being my second ever project.
So what was the smart move I did with my stupid game?
Porting it to as many platforms as I could. And honestly, I think that's something that every indie dev should do to be able to make living out of making games.
So in this video, I'll break down
how much it made just on Android from more than 1 million downloads, and then how much it earned in total across all other platforms I ported to. And those are the major ones, like Android, iOS, Xbox, Switch, Steam, and even HTML5. But before that, I'll quickly introduce you the game I'm talking about. So the game is called Endurance, and it's a pixel art sci-fi top-down shooter, and I released it in June 2020 on Android and iOS. So I made this game within 4 months, almost entirely solo. I was getting help from a pixel artist and very talented guy who handled the music and sound effects. The rest was on me: story, design, code, marketing. By the way, about marketing this game and getting featured on iOS and Android, I talk in my video right here. And you may wonder, what were the game metrics? They were totally bad. They are still totally bad, but at the time I didn't know that. So day one retention was around 15%, and that means that 85% of users were dropping the game just after installing it. And average playtime was around 19 minutes, and the game is 4 hours long. And the game had very stupid design problems, like no mid-level saves, long and punishing levels, and if you die you have to start from scratch from the very beginning of the level. Really hardcore. The repetitive gameplay, lame boss fights, and auto-aim mechanic probably made things even worse. But the story and overall ambience, they were not bad.
And a lot of players actually stuck around just to see how it ended.
And that meant a lot. So if you got bored with that introduction, let's get back to the main question. How much money did it with more than 1 million downloads on Android? Here's the breakdown. So from ads, by the way, I'm using Yoda Mass Mediation for ads, and it made $26,626. So I have two versions of the game on Google Play, the premium one and the free one. So the free one comes with ads, and from the free one I got $12,000, and from the paid one I got $45,000. In the very beginning, when I just released the game, I used ad mob mediation, and it brought me almost $2,000. So the total Android revenue with more than 1 million downloads brought me $85,447. And that with some marketing expenses, but mostly organic downloads. And even now, in 2025, it still brings me a few $100 every month. And that's more than some of my newer prototypes are making, so not bad at all. Now let's look at all platforms combined. So downloads from Android are more than 1 million, and from iOS 229,000. So the revenue from Android, as I said before, it's $85,000. iOS one brought me from ads $7,367, and from the in-app purchases $9,390. Xbox over these years brought me more or less $13,000. Nintendo Switch tiny bit more than $3,000. Steam and HTML5 were the weakest ones. Steam brought $625 and HTML5 brought $150. So the total lifetime revenue is $119,179. Sadly, all that was spread within these years.
And here's the thing, the game shouldn't be still making any money, but it does.
And why? Because I made it with heart and I put it everywhere. When I look back, yeah, there are a million things I would change, but when I boot it up, it still makes me proud. It may be rough around the edges, but it's real. I didn't just prototype some gameplay loop and call it a day. I built the full experience, as messy as it was. And all this before AI tools were a thing. There were moments I spent 3-4 days stuck on a bug that would take 30 seconds to solve with ChatGPT today. I googled everything. I used Stack Overflow, Unity forums. By the way, anyone still using those?
But I pushed through, I released it, and it mattered more than I expected.
And then came the smartest decision I ever made. Port it to everything. Straight after releasing it, I started getting offers from publishers, and I signed them. Steam didn't make much, sadly, and left me disappointed, so I kinda gave up on Steam, but maybe one day I'll get back to it. But together, every platform earned just enough, and those tiny streams added up. Sometimes surviving as an indie game dev isn't about making one hit, it's about making one decent thing and making it available everywhere. So no, Endurance didn't change the world, but it got featured on App Store and Google Play though.
It didn't make me rich.
But it paid some bills, and it funded my future projects. And it gave me something no spreadsheet or KPI ever could, confidence. And I'm still proud of this game when I return and play it sometimes. If you're a solo dev, don't wait for perfection. Make something you care about, release it, learn, port it. Even if this game isn't great, if it's real, people will feel that. And who knows, 5 years from now, it might be still sending you money while you're working on something new.
So if you like the video, give it a like and subscribe. I share real indie dev stuff, numbers, postmortems, fails, and small wins. Comment below, did you expect this game to earn that much, or you thought it's gonna be less? And have you ever released something that you're proud of, even if it's flopped? And thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.